I wanted to talk about Highguard because I've seen a lot of people online saying that it's bad or even unplayable. The reactions around this game have been pretty intense, so instead of just reacting to clips or opinions, I spent a few hours actually playing it myself. This isn't meant to be a definitive review, I just want to talk about how the game actually felt to play. If you've looked into Highguard at all, you've probably noticed that the reception has been pretty rough. A lot of players are complaining about performance issues, lags, crashes, and the game feeling unfinished. Some people are also saying the gameplay loop feels shallow or that the game doesn't really stand out enough from other shooters. At the same time, there are players saying the hate feels exaggerated, that it's rough but not nearly as bad as people make it sound. That mix of reaction is what made me want to try it myself instead of just writing it off. My honest first impression is that Highguard isn't as bad as people say it is. It's definitely rough in places and you can tell it needs work, but it didn't feel broken or frustrating right out of the gate. I was able to jump in, understand the basics pretty quickly, and start playing without feeling lost. It feels like a game that has a solid core, even if a lot of the surrounding systems still need polish. That said, the biggest problem with Highguard right now is optimization. I had noticeable lag during some fights, and even just moving around the world would sometimes cause stutters. It wasn't constant, but it happened often enough that it was hard to ignore. Over about 3 hours of playing, I only crashed once, which honestly was better than I expected given how bad some reports online sounded. Still, the performance issues are real and they absolutely need to be addressed if the game wants to keep players long term. When the game is running smoothly, I think Highguard actually feels pretty good to play. The gunplay feels nice, shooting feels responsive, and combat has a good sense of weight to it. Fights can feel genuinely fun when performance isn't getting in the way, and there were moments where I found myself wanting to keep playing just because the combat felt good. This is where I think the game's potential really shows. One thing that surprised me was that Highguard does have a certain charm to it. It's not the most polished game and it's not doing anything revolutionary, but it does feel like it has its own vibe. I had moments where I was just enjoying being in the game, even with its flaws. I think this is part of why some players feel the backlash has been a bit too harsh. There is something here worth building on. That said, I do understand a lot of the criticism. The game sometimes feels like it's trying to do too many things at once and not all of them fully come together. Some mechanics feel underdeveloped and the overall gameplay loop could start to feel repetitive over time if nothing changes. I can also see why some players feel the game lacks a strong identity, it borrows ideas from other games and it doesn't always feel cohesive. My biggest concern is longevity. After a few hours I can already imagine how the gameplay might start to feel repetitive if updates don't add more variety or depth. That doesn't mean the game is bad, it just means it's at a point where developer support and updates will matter a lot. If optimization improves and the gameplay loop gets expanded, I think Highguard could end up in a much better place. I think Highguard is best suited for players who don't mind rough edges and are willing to put up with some performance issues if the core gameplay feels fun. If you enjoy trying new games early and seeing how they evolve, there is something here to like. But if you need smooth performance and a very polished experience right now, this is probably isn't the game for you yet. Overall, I'm glad I tried Highguard for myself. It's not perfect, it definitely needs optimization, but I also don't think it deserves all the hate it's getting. There is a solid foundation here, the gunplay feels good, the game has some charm, it just needs time and work. I think it's one of those games that's worth forming your own opinion on, instead of just going off the loudest voices online. So, thanks for listening. I just wanted to share my opinion. I'm gonna keep an eye on where it goes from here, and you're probably gonna see me playing it more in my Twitch streams if you ever wanna show up there. I stream mostly every day, different times because of work schedule, but try to stream and play it more and probably maybe have it as my main game at this point.